The left arm. I feel like if I get crazy, I might knock the mic.
Just fix it.
I'm trying to see how I should put it. No, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah, like no, towards you or behind you. Like pull a stand forward, so like in front of your chest, like forward. Like yeah, pull it forward. There you go. Good job.
Shut the fuck up.
Welcome back to After the Cup podcast. I got my boy Josh McGruder here with me right now. He's a coach, basketball coach. I know him for a very long time. Going back to when we was kids, you always had a thing for the youth, right? Mm-hmm. So I figured that's why you started coaching. Mm-hmm. So why do you desire to help the youth so much? Like, why is that on your heart?
I think it comes just naturally, just having the desire to want to help people, period. And see the people around me succeed. And I think just over time, growing up, understanding just the dynamics of our society, and just the struggles that we face, especially in the Black community, and seeing the contrast of young men who had fathers or male role models versus young men who didn't have male role models. So seeing that and seeing a need and understanding that, and then having a passion for sports,
right?
It just was a combination of both of those things. I always loved sports growing up. So having that passion for sports, having that passion for seeing people succeed, combine those two, and that what brought me to coaching.
And when you went to college, initially you didn't go for coaching, did you?
When I first went to college, I went to school. My major was sports management. And then over time, as I got into the major, I realized, at the time, that was more on the sports side of things, or the business side of things. And I wanted to be more on the coaching, the teaching, and things of that nature. So I changed my major to health and physical education. That way I could learn how to teach, because at the end of the day, coaching is teaching.
Right.
And so I really want to focus on mastering the art of teaching, that way I could be the best coach I could be.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I made that shift.
Okay, cool. And your first gig, or was it mentorship or assistant coach, was that Statesboro? Or with the high school? I can't remember.
That was probably my first official, I guess, coaching opportunity or job, like on the high school level. But I had done like some, recreational league, youth level coaching prior to that. That led me to that opportunity.
And when you were doing that, like you said, like challenges with the youth and all that, right? Did you come across like any kids that was hard to coach? You had to like pour into them from outside of basketball?
Oh yeah, for sure. One of my first coaching opportunities, I was coaching with the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
And it was like 9, 10, 11-year-olds, So I remember one of my former players, he went on to graduate from, I think he finished up at Savannah State, but at the time he was just one of those guys, man. He just, home situation wasn't perfect, was kind of in and out of the streets, so not only myself, but Coach Hill, the head coach of Statesboro, really poured into him, and eventually over time he got his life together, kind of focused, and eventually graduated and things of that nature. But yeah, it's definitely, that was one of the first kids that I came across and was able to kind of pour into, that had a, troublesome life.
Did he take to you right away? Was it the process? Like, what were the things that he struggled with that even you had to find yourself to get better understanding in order to help him?
It was definitely a process. When you're coming from dysfunctional environments, you're going to have trust issues. So the adults in your life, you don't always, he wasn't fooling with me at first. He had to I had to build that rapport with them and let them know, look, I'm here for you, bro. I'm trying to help you out, trying to give you some tools that's gonna help you in life. You know, you just gotta trust me. So initially, he was pushing back, but once he realized, and that's what most kids, you know, once they realize like you truly care about their well-being and them as a person and not just a player, you know, and that's when, you know, you're able to kind of get the most out of them, and they bring it at a higher level just because, again, they trust you. They know you got their well-being in mind.
When it comes to sports, because we playing basketball, you know, basketball physical, we talk a lot of shit, you know, just stuff like that. So the mentality of a player like that versus a player from, I guess, a better background, can you see the difference in games? Like one person may take it a little different than the other person, or more aggressive, better, or because, you know, some people affiliate being from that environment will make you better than somebody that's not necessarily from that environment. Is that necessarily true?
It's not always true, because I've seen kids that come from great homes be the toughest kids on the court. You know what I mean? I think it's a combination of things that affect that approach. But I think that is a misnomer that you gotta be from a tough environment to be tough on the court. You know what I mean? That's not always true. More times than not, you know, kids who come from rougher environments are gonna naturally just be a little more aggressive just because that's from where they're coming from.
Yeah, they got that edge on them.
Right. But that doesn't mean the kid that's coming from a good situation don't know how to adjust to that.
Right.
When they face with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might not come out with it initially, or it might not look the same. The confidence might not come off as talking and verbal, but you see that confidence when they face adversity.
So being that person already has that edge to them, right? Coaching a player that's not like that initially, can you coach that into them, or they got to have it, or they don't?
It's definitely harder to crank an engine up than it is to slow a car down.
That's pretty good.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
you read a book today.
No, but seriously, it's just like,
right.
I'd much rather have a kid that I gotta calm down and reel in than a kid that I gotta push to give the energy and effort and passion that's required to be successful.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
another thing, so like, okay, so you coaching kids, right? And you got some kids that want to play, some kids that are just there. And I know this is the challenge you have as the coach, right? So the kids that you know that's not really there for the hurt, is it hard to coach that, being that you have to because they're there? Like, how do you deal with that?
You know how it is, bro. Like, if you're in a class that you don't enjoy or don't want to be a part of, you're not going to give the same type of effort, energy, attention to detail that's required.
Right.
You know, so having a kid that's kind of there, maybe because their parents want them to be there, maybe because they just there because they want to be on the team and they want the benefits, the social benefits of it. Yeah, those kids are tougher to motivate.
Yeah.
So you got to find ways. All right, well, why are you here? What can I show this kid, or how can I incentivize this process for him? You know, so he comes with a different mindset and at least maximizes this opportunity, you know, and get something out of it instead of just showing up every day going half-assed.
And I know that, like, you dealt with this before too, even playing basketball. So hard to coach a kid that come in there, he know he nice, like he nasty, and you really can't tell him nothing. You be like, hey, coach, he be like, man, my talent go take me there. I don't got it. What you talking about? A drill, like Irish practice? I'll be here when the game start, nigga.
Right.
Like, how you doing? How you doing that?
It's funny you mention that because we're kind of dealing with that a little bit now. With those kids, I mean, you try to show them, you try to make them respect the process. You try to show them that they're not preparing. You're not preparing to beat these guys, bro. Like, you're not preparing to be successful against this level. We're preparing you to be successful at the next level, like now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to start. So you kind of got to talk to them about, look, yeah, you might be eating against your classmates or your teammates in the building, but what about when you run up on that guy that's you at the other school? Are you preparing to beat him? Are you preparing to be successful against him? You know, and then are you preparing to be successful against that kid in Serbia right now who is struggling, don't know nothing, and he's working his ass off to get an opportunity over here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be thinking about that. You can't look at what's around you. You got to be thinking big picture. So trying to get that kid to understand that, and then understand that at the end of the day, bro, your talent, if you only rely on your talent, you're not going to maximize your potential. You know what I mean? So, and it's going to run out at some point. Everybody got to retire at some point. And your talent, some people's talent can take them to the next level, you know, but do you want to settle for just going to the next level, or do you want to, you know, because right now, man, these college kids, if you make it to college and you make it to what they call a high major Division I program, like your Power Fives, your SECs, ACCs, so on and so forth, they paying kids 6 figures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like now it's thousands of dollars on the line, bro. Like you can settle for a mid-major, which is, you know, your Georgia States, Georgia Southerns, you know, those type of conferences where a kid might get paid. They're gonna get paid, but it ain't 6 figures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got the potential to be at this level, why not go for that?
Right.
So that's kind of what you try to get a kid like that to understand.
But that's why I think LeBron one of the greats, because he knew that. Like LeBron knew he was already that. But he pushed past that and he exceeded every expectation he had. He passed all of them and then more than even that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Bron, and that's why Bron is just otherworldly, you know, because you combine that, because nobody at St. Vincent, St. Mary was challenging him in the locker room in terms of like, we go one-on-one, you got a chance type.
Right.
You know what I mean? So his ability to, and when you think back to that time, like social media wasn't there. So like he couldn't even compare himself to other people, or like, which might have been a good thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just stay locked in, stay focused, you know? So, I mean, yeah, for him to work with that level of intensity, you know, with his talent is just, that's why he's arguably the greatest of all time.
Yo, and so what you said about social media, so think about how good you had to be back then. Because like they had to come and find you. So you that good, everybody talking about you, and now they come out to come find you, play basketball. Do you think that was a better time for sports or basketball? Or you think now that people can see all these things and make it just as challenging as it once was?
Even though it's easier to be seen, there's more talent to beat out, to beat out.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, because again, you know, the rest of the world wasn't as good back then. So
that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like you were like, even though you might not have had the social media aspect, you really only had to beat out the people in the country, which is still a very tall task. But,
right.
But when you add the rest of the world to that now, it's tough, you know. And then the new rules with college rules where you can transfer and immediately be eligible and things of that nature has really made it even tougher for, even if you're recognized, you know, well, we already got a full roster, Chief. Like,
right.
It's just tough, man. The numbers right now is really hard. So it's better in ways, but it's more challenging in other ways.
Got you. And as a coach, like, how do you tell a kid that who do got some talent, but you know that he may not go as far as you think he's gonna go. Is that a conversation that you have with someone? Because what if like stuff like that happens? Like you may think you know their ceiling, and let's say they don't get picked for college or anything like that. How do you break the conversation down to them to where they can still feel confident?
I mean, that's just one of those things where, you know, you got to know or have that understanding that I might put everything into this and not get the results that I want. That's one of those things that you always got to know when you go for it.
That's true.
And that's why a lot of people don't go for it, because of that part right there. They don't want to have that failure, and they don't want to deal with that failure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's easier to just run from it, go ahead and check out, than to put everything into it and not get the results that you desired. Right. You know what I mean? And that's just part of what we got to teach our guys. You know, hey, you could work your ass off, bro, and you know there's levels to it. We got guys who work their ass off and then don't make the team. You know what I mean? You got guys who work their ass off and only get 5 minutes a game. You got guys that work their ass off and don't get the scholarship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got guys that work their ass off, get to college, and then have an injury. You know what I'm saying? So it comes in different forms. It comes in different levels. It happens to 90% of athletes out there that go out there and try to achieve something. You're gonna fail at some point. You know. Right. So how do you deal with that? So that's what, you know, trying to teach our guys, give our guys those skills to handle adversity and to handle failure. And that's part of the daily grind. You know, if we in the gym and, you know, we putting you in the drill and you failing a lot, I tell the guys that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You go from failure to failure with the same enthusiasm, bro. You're gonna fail. Like, that's why I'm challenging you. You know what I'm saying? So are you gonna let that failure like stop you in your tracks? Or you gonna find a solution and get to the next thing? All right, why did I miss this shot? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like being solution based in your thinking, rather than just like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Nah, bro. Like, I was short. I was right. I was left. I was long. You know what I mean? I'll have my guys like say it. Like, I want y'all, you know, if I see them going through that little where they just, you know, frustrated, and being negative. Like, first, positive self-talk, bro. And then second, all right, start calling out. When you shoot the ball, start calling it out. All right, how did it feel? And so now you're making those mental adjustments, you know, or you can make those mental adjustments because you've made the mistake plain. You know what I mean? You called it out. And so now, okay, I was right. So now, subconsciously, your body, if you're trying to go center, your body gonna make that adjustment. Now you might overcompensate, but now on that third shot, you should be right in the middle. Right. You know what I mean? So just teaching that little thing right there, where, you know, they're learning how to be solution based in their thinking, you know, is something that'll help them when they reach that failure. You know, all right, this is what happened. They can reflect on it, take it in, and then go to sleep, wake up the next day refreshed, ready to attack the next challenge, whatever that is.